Well, my last video got a lot of negative attention that I was not expecting. Sorry that I like the Marvel movie, guys. Most controversial opinion on the internet, apparently. Anyway, this left me with a lot of tension that I needed to get out, so I figured, why not take a good old-fashioned movie dump? What is a movie dump? Well, I'm glad you asked. Even if I don't go see movies in the theater, I'm still watching movies all the time. So every once in a while, I'll gobble up some flicks and I let these mini movie reviews digest. Then to get these movie reviews out of my system, I dump them on you guys. Right in your face. We call that a movie dump. The Killer! David Fincher, one of the best directors out there, has made another crazy good movie. This involves Michael Fassbender as an assassin of sorts. He has a botched job backfire on him, and he wants to save himself and his livelihood and his life before he gets taken out. This is a solitary, inner dialogue heavy movie. The first 20 minutes gave me this American Psycho vibe. It's very methodical, and there are so many statistics they throw at you. Glorious statistics. And within those first 20 minutes, I'd say the suspense is just through the fucking roof. Then after that, it mellows out into this slower pace, but it's really fascinating. Yeah, I think fascinating is a good word for it, as this killer reestablishes over and over his rules for how to be a successful killer, while he's also breaking the rules. When you're watching a Fincher flick, it's like a masterclass in editing and dialogue. If you're watching this and the slow pace is a little too slow for you, I get it. But it's probably one of the best things I've watched this year. Michael Fassbender is amazing, and it's just a technically sound movie that only David Fincher can deliver you.
Forbid empathy. Please. Trust no one. Fight only the battle you're paid to fight.
Whew. Yeah. I loved it. No hard feelings. Jennifer Lawrence got her car taken away, and she needs that to Uber so she can work for money so her house doesn't get taken away. She finds an ad for a free car, and the only catch is she has to date this rich couple's awkward son.
He doesn't come out of his room, he doesn't talk to girls, doesn't drink.
So when you say date him, do you mean date him or date him?
Yes.
Date him. Date him hard.
Okay. I'll date his brains out.
Yeah, the plot's a little ridiculous, but it is the plot that we've been presented with, so I'd say just go with it. There's a lot worse plots out there, that's for sure. So she meets this awkward dude, and it kind of just plays out with her trying to seal the deal while realizing that he's actually a really good person that she could learn from. They go through these awkward, silly scenarios, and that leads to a silly-ass time. It's dumb and funny. And personally, I think the humor landed for me. Like, this is one of my favorite jokes.
I'm Allison, and this is my husband, Laird. Layered? Like lasagna?
Lasagna? No, layered.
Laird. Am I
Layered.
saying that right?
Yeah, one syllable, layered.
Okay.
Just call me layered.
I can't.
Layered? Like lasagna? So yeah, just ridiculous and funny. It's very easy to watch if you've got nothing else to throw on. I was kind of surprised how the whole thing wrapped up in the end. We go from this straight up comedy to a serious coming of age story. And I liked how it all panned out. It was a very mature, unexpected ending. Yeah, I liked it. The Grey. Oh man. Talk about a badass survival flick. Liam Neeson in this, you know, he's a fucking man. I don't know if I've ever tried a Liam Neeson accent. She's been taken. She's been taken. I have a particular set of skills. Liam Neeson. So Liam Neeson's is, on a flight, and he crash lands with a vastly different cast of characters. And they gotta hike through the Alaskan wilderness to try and survive and find civilization? Civilization. Oh yeah, they're also being hunted by a pack of wolves. I'm not talking little wolves. I'm talking wild Alaskan wolves. The type that Rogan's obsessed with. I'd say if you're in a good mood, save this for when you're in a sad or bad mood. It's a dark, depressing, hopeless movie. While they're trekking through the wilderness, you slowly get to know these characters as they're slowly killed off one by one. Once again, Liam Neeson, he's a fucking man. His character just refuses to die. And the final showdown between him and the wolves, it leaves you like... Also, there's this one scene that I keep thinking about where this guy is dying and he's hallucinating his daughter and he's like talking to her. And in reality, it's a wolf eating him alive. It's horrific. Another detail I absolutely love is they never really show you the wolves. It's always quick glimpses of them or cut off shots, or it's overly zoomed in on their teeth or their eyes. It makes them scary as shit. Awesome flick. So hopeless. Man, that ending. Backdraft! I have not watched this classic in like 15 years. Guess what? Still holds up. And if I remember correctly, this is like the definitive firefighter movie, right? This is the movie that firefighters like the most when it comes to their profession. It's gotta be, right? So you've got these two brothers whose dad died fighting a fire. Now they're all grown up and they're following in their father's footsteps. Right off the bat, you got a lot of family baggage. As Kurt Russell is an established fire chief, I think he's a chief in that. He's up there. He's one of the higher ranks. I feel like I'm being offensive to firefighters. Sorry guys, I don't know your ranking system. Comment down below what rank Kurt Russell is in Backdraft from 1991. And his younger bro, William Baldwin, he's trying to figure out what he wants to do with his firefighting career. Gonna tell you straight up, William Baldwin's character, he's a bit of a bitch. And I'm pretty sure that's the point of his character arc, but he is annoyingly indecisive. I will say, however, there's a chunk of the movie where he shadows Robert fucking De Niro to see if he's interested in that career, being some kind of fire crime scene investigator. It is a small role for Bobby De Niro, but it's awesome. Maybe one of my favorites of his. The villain of this story is a dude that is weaponizing backdrafts that are already in fires. I did ask a firefighter that I know if it's possible for someone to plant a backdraft in a fire as like a booby trap. And of course he's like, no. But then I was like, that's a cool idea though, right? And he's like, oh fuck yeah. It's definitely worth a watch or a rewatch of this classic Chicago-based early 90s firefighter flick. Solid flick. The Machine. I don't know if this is a hot take or anything, but I don't really find Bert Kreischer funny. His original Russia story that he told on the Joe Rogan podcast back in 2011, it was funny the first time I heard it back then in 2011. Then he told an embellished version of the story in a stand-up special in 2016, and he rode that story to present day where they made a movie about it. The sad thing is that in his own movie, he's the weakest link. I think everyone else in this thing's doing a pretty great job. Bert is just trying too hard. His acting is like how he thinks actors should act. You know? He's not just acting. He's pretending to act. That sounds better.
You paid money to see my son tell his made-up story about robbing a train in Russia?
For the millionth time, it's a true story.
It took about 2 seconds before he started making me mental. Look at it.
He's a monster.
Now, you gotta party with me.
He's just kind of forcing his performance on you. And it's unnatural. Which is kind of funny because he's playing himself. Speaking of which, this has got to be one of the most narcissistic movies I've ever seen. You've got Bert playing himself in a movie about his story while also having flashbacks to a younger version of himself played by Jimmy Turturro. I think I would have just been happier with Jimmy playing Bert about his college days and the machine story being part of that. Fun fact, Bert is known for his partying college days, and the movie Van Wilder is based off of him. You could actually make a storyline about that young version of Bert, but no! He has to be in his own movie. He's gotta be in it, playing himself. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. I just didn't really find it funny. And since I already know the story because I've heard it so many times over so many years, all the extra stuff around it is just a bunch of fluff. Now, whether audiences liked it or not, we know one thing for sure. There's not a single person on this earth who likes this movie more than Bert Kreischer. That's it. Good dump, everyone. I had a good time. I enjoyed that. Felt good to get it off my chest. Always feels good to throw a dump at you, okay? See ya! Subscribe! So here's a weird thing. Over the last few months, I've had a few comments about, hey, what's up with the eye makeup? And I'm like, huh? You gotta realize, when I'm editing a video of my own face, I kind of ignore my face. It's hard to explain. Either way, I've never really noticed that my lighting setup catches the inside of my eyeballs just right. So it looks like I have a white shine to my eyes. Do you see it? Do you see it? I'm not wearing makeup. It's just how the light catches the pit of my eyeballs that are sunken into my fucking head. Just wanted to let you guys know that I've been asking. Nope, not wearing eye makeup. See ya. Gross.